Okay, so here is a review of 10 Cloverfield Lane. This is one of my favorite movies of 2016. It's great because it's like the new Twilight Zone. Every movie in the saga is a mystery, and it's great. And this movie showed that they weren't going to stick the same formula as the original Cloverfield. And even I would propose and say that Super 8 is a part of this universe just because of the gas station that the character stops in. But that's just me and the fact that they're all released by Paramount. J.J. Abrams is a really good storyteller. He finds people outside to tell these stories, and I'm glad that he's going back to telling these stories because he's great at science fiction, and I love him at science fiction. Force Awakens, while I enjoyed it and felt like it was a good movie, just like I enjoyed the reboot of Star Trek, I felt like there was something left to be desired afterwards. And I loved Force Awakens. You know, I wasn't very critical of it. I knew that they were going to do exactly what they were going to do with it. I had a hunch about that. But we're talking about Cloverfield Lane. John Goodman's performance is amazing. I haven't seen John Goodman give a performance since Red State. And John Goodman is keeping up with that with all the movies that he's been in recently. I'm actually looking forward to seeing him in Kong. I like Lizzie Kaplan. Is it Lizzie? Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Never mind. Not Lizzie Kaplan. But Mary Elizabeth Winstead. The fact that there's only 3 main actors in most of this movie is fantastic. And it does a really good job. When I saw this in theaters, I was on the edge of my seat. The script does a really good job of keeping you contained in one space and making it not feel like you're claustrophobic and in this, in a small space, even though it takes place in such a small space. The Breakfast Club does the same thing, and when these movies do stuff like that, it makes you feel with the character, it makes you discover. I was on her side. And there's so many fan theories going around. I spent hours reading on Reddit about everything that goes into it. This movie is so good. If you haven't seen it, I would see it because God Particle, or that's what it was called, God Particle. I imagine they would change it. Is fantastic. Or is going to be fantastic. I think God Particle will be fantastic. And, I mean, God. John Goodman. Such a good actor. I'm glad that he was able to grow into these roles and breathe second life into his career after not having such a great career. But man, I really want to pop this in and watch it again. That's how good it was. I mean, oh man, I must have watched it 3 times in theaters. I hardly do that. So, but anyway. Yeah, 10 Cloverfield Lane is amazing. The cinematography is great. I couldn't even tell that it was directed by a first-time director. That's how good it was. And that JJ just knows how to do a good producing. I think he should stop directing and film writing now and just produce movies because I think he can do a really good job. I think he should take a break from directing and just produce because if we get more stuff like 10 Cloverfield Lane from him, I will be super happy.